There is one herb that's been growing in Chinese gardens for centuries, yet hardly anyone in the West talks about it. It's incredibly easy to grow, helps keep certain garden pests away, makes a surprisingly refreshing tea, and completely transforms the flavor of your cooking. It's Chinese basil, and traditional Chinese medicine has valued it for generations. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why it might be one of the most useful plants you can have at home. The first reason I think everyone should grow Chinese basil is because it starts being useful before you even pick a single leaf. If you've ever grown vegetables, you'll know how frustrating it is when insects start attacking your plants. Now, Chinese basil isn't some magic plant that makes every bug disappear, but its strong smell can help discourage common pests like aphids, whiteflies, mosquitoes, and some beetles from hanging around. That's why a lot of gardeners like planting it alongside vegetables. At the same time, when the plant flowers, it attracts bees and other pollinators, which is great for the rest of your garden. So, while it's helping keep some unwanted insects away, it's also bringing in the ones you actually want. Then there's how easy it is to grow. Chinese basil loves warm weather, plenty of sunshine, and once it's established, it doesn't ask for much. Give it water, pick the leaves regularly, and it just keeps growing. In fact, the more you harvest it, the bushier it becomes, so you end up with even more leaves to use. That's one of the reasons it's been grown in Chinese gardens for so long. It isn't just there because it looks nice. It earns its place by being genuinely useful every single day. And once you've got all those fresh leaves growing in your backyard, the next thing you'll probably want to try is turning them into a simple cup of tea. Now here's where Chinese basil becomes even more useful. Instead of just picking the leaves for cooking, many people simply make them into a tea. This has been done in Chinese households for generations, and it's easy to see why. You literally grab a handful of fresh leaves, pour over some hot water, let it steep for a few minutes, and that's it. One of the biggest reasons people enjoy basil tea is because it's naturally packed with antioxidants. These are plant compounds that help protect your cells from everyday wear and tear, which is one of the reasons herbs like basil have become such a popular part of healthy diets around the world. The leaves also contain natural oils that give basil its amazing smell. And those same oils have been studied for their anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. That's one of the reasons basil has been valued in traditional Chinese medicine for so long. A lot of people also like drinking it after a meal. If you've ever finished eating and felt a bit too full or bloated, a warm cup of basil tea can be a really nice way to finish the meal. It's naturally caffeine-free, incredibly refreshing, and a simple way to get more beneficial plant compounds into your diet without buying expensive supplements. The best part is that if you're already growing Chinese basil in your garden, you've always got fresh tea sitting just a few steps away. But as good as the tea is, I still think the best use for Chinese basil is in the kitchen, because that's where this herb really shines. If you've only ever used the basil that goes on pizza or pasta, Chinese basil is going to be a pleasant surprise. The flavor is much bolder. Depending on the variety, you'll notice hints of pepper, clove, or even a slight licorice flavor. It adds a fresh aroma that can completely change a simple meal. It's perfect in stir-fries, noodles, soups, curries, chicken, beef, pork, seafood, or tofu. Even if you're just making fried rice at home, throwing in a handful of fresh Chinese basil right at the end makes the whole dish smell incredible. And it's not just about flavor. Every handful of fresh basil adds more vitamins, minerals, and beneficial plant compounds to your meal. It's an easy way to make healthy food taste even better without relying on extra salt or heavy sauces. When you stop and think about it, it's actually pretty impressive. One plant can help your garden, give you fresh herbal tea whenever you want it, and make everyday meals taste better, all while asking for very little in return. Maybe that's why Chinese families have kept growing it for generation after generation. Sometimes the most valuable plants aren't the rare or expensive ones. They're the ones that quietly become part of everyday life. And Chinese basil is a perfect example of that.